if I traded it all.
Welcome back, everyone. We are live on Facebook for everyone that's listening right now and tuning in with us. Like us on Facebook and follow us as well. My next guest is Robert Young, and he's the owner of Blue Dot Wealth Management. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thanks, Carol. Well, I am a financial planner, and I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I live out in Gilbert, married, kids, all that kind of good stuff. So,
now, you've been doing this for 20 years, but you specialize. How did you get started in this?
well, I graduated from college with a degree in history and a minor in archaeology, and we all know that is...
Where's that going to get you?
Yeah, probably nowhere. So there was an ad in the paper back in 1996 that you actually looked through the paper for jobs, and there was an ad for Charles Schwab, and they said they were hiring, and I said, well, the worst that they could say is no. And I ended up actually falling in love with the industry. I sometimes like to joke that I could have been a trust fund baby, but my grandfather had passed away when my mom was 13, and so she had this childhood where she grew up with private schools and all of this kind of great stuff, big house, all that. They didn't actually have any kind of a financial plan when he passed, and so that really kind of threw my grandmother and my entire family into disarray. So it's really, when I found out that I could actually help people avoid that, I was really hooked.
Well, let me say something too. You also specialize in different things, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I also really want to know why you named it Blue Dot Wealth Management. I want to get some information out. You're located in Gilbert. You do free consultations with everyone. You've been doing this for 20 years, and the website is blue.wealthmanagement.com. It's all spelled out, blue.wealthmanagement.com. You do free consultations. You have to. Your business is a relationship-based business, so you got to get to know one another.
Absolutely.
And the number to call them is 480-256-2384. So where did you get your inspiration for this name?
So I'm a big science and history nerd, and as I was thinking about names for the firm, I was thinking about Carl Sagan, who was a big childhood hero of mine, and back in the Voyager space probe days, he actually lobbied for NASA to turn the Voyager spacecraft around. It was heading out of the solar system, out where Pluto is, and he had him turn around the entire spacecraft and take a picture of Earth from like 4 billion miles away. And it became the famous pale blue dot picture, and to me that's one of those things that really kind of represents that ultimately we're all kind of in this together. And that's something that I really feel like, I want that kind of partnership and relationship with my clients, that
that's
we're
awesome.
all in it together. And so that's really where the name comes from.
That's really, really neat. I love that. Do you have a lot of science fiction type clients? Just asking.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Now, again, they're located in Gilbert. They do free consultation. He's been doing this since for 20 years, and the website is blue.wealthmanagement.com, and you can call them direct at 480-256-2384. All right, so then what do you specialize in?
Well, I really feel like I help families and business owners that have problems. Some of those problems are fairly complex. A lot of my clients are Generation Xers like myself, or baby boomers like my parents, that are kind of in that squeeze. We call it kind of a squeeze generation, but they have aging parents that they need to kind of help take care of, potentially. And they also have kids that they're potentially sending to college or helping them get started in life, whether that's planning for weddings or helping them buy a house or whatever it is that they want to do. So
I'm that baby boomer.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people are. I mean, I think that that many families are kind of struggling with that, and how to properly allocate resources is a big part of the financial planning process, and really what I feel like I do a good job at helping people do.
So So when somebody comes to you, especially if they've had children that are going into college, you specialize in sort of helping them with their finances and financial planning in order to how to plan to make that happen. Is it better for somebody to come to you, let's say, earlier rather than waiting till we are already baby boomers?
Yeah, it's always like that old joke about voting in Chicago. It's better to start early and often. But at any age, it really doesn't matter. What really matters is sitting down and establishing goals and priorities.
Absolutely. I mean, and let me ask you this now. When you work with people, some people think that when you have a financial planner, that you have to have a lot of money, or you will only work with people that have a certain amount to put in that portfolio, or they want nothing to do with it.
Sure.
Is that in your case?
No, absolutely not. I have 5 very, very simple rules. Rule number 1 is you have to know you need advice. Which is important. If you don't think you need advice, we shouldn't really be talking. Rule number 2 is you have to be willing to pay for that advice. I run a business, and it's a for-profit business. Rule number 3 is we create a plan. You have to stick to the plan. Rule number 4 is you can't be a jerk. I have found out a long time ago that life is too short to work with people that you don't like. And rule number 5 is that you have to be willing to leave a legacy for your family or your community. And if we connect and we can follow all of those rules, you're going to be a great client regardless of how much money you have.
Now, in terms of it, though, you also you do these free consultations, so you got to get to know one another and find out. It's going to be with anyone on both sides, whether or not you're a good fit for one another.
Absolutely, yeah. You're hiring me, and I'm kind of hiring you. I'm inviting you into my family.
Right. Now, the number to call them direct, it's 480-256-2384. That website is blue.wealth management. It's all spelled out, .com. He's located in Gilbert. They do free consultations, and he's been doing this for 20 years. Something that I believe that is very important for everybody to do. Don't wait. Do not wait, especially if you've got kids that are about ready to go into college. Believe me, I wish I had the money to do that with. Believe me. And the same thing is for people who have not made a plan, because, if you don't make a plan, it can be very detrimental at the end of all the things.
Yeah.
So that's important. When we were talking the first time I ever talked to you, you had mentioned something about that you are a capitalist hippie. So what is that? I mean, because I could say I'm a hippie more than you.
Sure. Don't let the suit and tie fool you, right?
Yeah. Scientific.
Yes.
Scientific capitalist hippie.
Right. Well, really what that boils down to is that there's a lot of data out there that shows that companies that do the right thing, that treat their employees well, that give back to their community, there's actually a return on investment. Those companies actually perform better than companies that don't. So part of what I do, part of what I believe in, is that if I'm out there helping clients select investments in companies that do the right thing, over time that's going to reward them, and that's essentially kind of what being a capitalist hippie is all about.
So, but you had mentioned that you're a financial planner, but how does a financial planner differ from being an investment advisor?
Sure, it's a great question. As a financial planner, you're basically looking at a family's or a business's entire financial picture. So how do their liabilities affect what they're able to save? There's a difference between good debt and bad debt? What are they looking for as far as college planning? Do they have life insurance in place? Do they have long-term care insurance in place? What are their overall goals, and what are they trying to accomplish, and what are they trying to basically leave behind? An investment advisor, most of the time, those people are just advising on the assets that they're managing. And so while I do that, I really want to take a look at a family's broader picture and have everything work together in concert.
So when you're helping with someone, who's your perfect client? Who would you say is your client? People that are. Well, I gave you my five rules, right? If you're so if you want to make a plan, you have to want to make a plan. You have to be willing to leave a legacy.
Right.
There was another one.
Can't be a jerk. Yeah.
Can't be a jerk. I didn't want to say that on the air. You said it, not me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then what was the other two?
That we create a plan, you stick to the plan.
Then you stick to the plan,
Right.
which makes sense.
Yeah, and that you have to know you need advice. Right,
Right, and you do.
Yeah.
And we do. And we have to accept that we do and not think that we know it all for sure.
Right.
But the best thing to do is to contact somebody like him and talk to him. Find out, what it is that he can do for you. If you are someone that has children that are about ready to go to college, he specializes in that. And also, if you are looking to maybe find out if you want to leave a legacy and work with someone like him, his phone number, it's easy to call him at 480-256-2384. You could check him out on his website. It is blue.wealthmanagement.com. He's located in Gilbert, and he does free consultations.